Hey yo guys, how's it going? Tally here, and today I'm going to bring you my Tri-Brigade Zoo post-BANLIST deck profile because I think this deck is just so fun. Is it as good without Drident? Nah, of course it's not, but it's still a fun deck and it's still pretty competitive. Now, please make sure to like the video if you like it, please make sure to comment your thoughts down below, and subscribe if you are new here. And if you're thinking, Tally, where'd you get that cool ass sleeve? Well, I got that on yourplaymat.com. You can use my affiliate link or my code 10% off, and it supports the channel directly. Now let's dive in. Alrighty, so for our Tri-Brigade deck we are going to rock with Free Fractal. Now of course this is the absolute champion of the deck and it allows you to do pretty much all of your plays starters, right? Because this is going to dump itself, which can dump a kit, which can dump a Nerval, to immediately grab you any other Tri-Brigade and have 3 materials in graveyard so that you've got stuff to play with. So we are running free kit in this version, of course, because free kit is just really good. We're almost maxing out on the Tri-Brigades if I'm honest. Now kit, when it's sent to the graveyard, will dump a Tri-Brigade card, and that card could be Nerval, which when it's sent to the graveyard, then you get to search a card. Or search a monster more specifically. It's a kind of like Shadow Mist for you hero players. I think I've said that one before in my bird up video, feel free to check that one out. And it can also search 2 of our Keras, of which we are running 2. I actually have considered at times maybe taking this up to 3. I actually kind of like it because the deck is sorely missing some extenders now that the zoos aren't quite as potent as they used to be. But overall, this package, I love it. I actually really love Tri-Brigades. They're so powerful. They're so beefy. They've got such a good recursion play, because once you've started to pop off, you've already won the game really, right? Unless you're a bad player like me, once you start popping off of this deck, you've already won. For the zoo portion of the deck, we are keeping it simple. We've got 1 Rapier, we've got Ram, and we have a Whiptail. Now you're probably thinking, Tally, why are you still playing these cards? Don't you know Drident got banned? Well, it did. However, Rapier is still a 1-card link to Ram isn't too bad to send off a Rapier, and Whiptail can out awkward cards like Winda, so you can just like summon it, make a zoo, and then just hit into it, and then you can start going off with your special summoning plays later. Overall though, I think the zoo package is quite nice. It still offers flexibility. Are you telling me that I can normal summon anything and have a 4 material Zeus that my opponent has to deal with? It's just kind of magic, isn't it? And that's really all of our engine pieces, right? It's a really tight engine, so we get to play a good few hand traps. So I really like Ash Blossom. It's just kind of the rogue killer. It just hits almost everything to some degree. It might not kill a deck, but it can definitely hurt a deck. And then we have Free Droll and Lockbird. Again, I'm quite a fan of this in the current format because overall, there's so many decks that do rely on searching a lot. Even Tri-Brigade variants like Drytron's a big deck right now, and it just hits a lot of decks. Again, not an incredible blowout like I've said before, but it does do damage. It does hit rogue decks fairly hard, so it's a pretty decent card. And then we have some more starters, some more search cards. We have Fire Formation Tenki, which I really like in this variant because of course it has that extra added flexibility that the Bird Up variant doesn't have, because really it just searches Fractal, but this can search a zoo as well, which offers you more answers to your problems. We also have a Zoodiac Barrage because extenders are cool. I really like to see those. And that's really it in terms of like our search cards. Next we're going to talk about some draw power. So I'm going to run 3 Pot of Desires because realistically going +1 for absolutely 0 cost is insane. Pot of Desires is really good. I think Pot of Prosperity could be played in this deck, but I'm just not really sure. I know enough about the extra deck yet to commit to that, because it could be better. But to be honest, this is the kind of deck where just having more cards could obviously win you the duel, so it's absolutely fine to play Desires. And that's all of our spells, so let's take a look at our traps now. We're running free Tri-Brigade Revolt because this card is just nuts. This card's insane. So Tri-Brigade Revolt allows you to special summon a whole bunch of beast monsters or winged beast or beast warriors, the tri-types, back from the banished zone or graveyard. Does anyone hear recursion? And as you'll now know, cards like Nerval and Kit have effects when they are sent to the graveyard, so you can continue to send more in deck fin, you can search out so you've always got that follow-up play, and the Revolt can go into something like Shureg, which is going to banish a card during your opponent's turn. So you've got set up with a bunch of really potent spells. Also running free Solemn Strike because Solemn Strike is just generically good. Again, you want to control the tempo a little bit and then just go really ham with some big beaters quite late on in the game, or even like turn 3, turn 5. And Solemn Strike can be just what you need to get there. You know, you negate a key summon, you go ahead and you just beat over them next turn with cards like Hrazelvagar, but that's me spoiling the extra deck. Also running free Imperm, it's a pretty cool hand trap right now. There's lots of decks that it can hit. Again, Dragon Link's kind of fallen out of the format, so this being just an additional point of interaction. Love it, love to see it. Then we're running free Torrential Tribute. I think Torrential Tribute's really neat. I used to run Rendezvous in the deck so that you could like summon something, Torrential, and then Rendezvous to protect your monsters. I just don't think it's really that necessary, but overall I like Torrential Tribute. And then finally for our 40th card I have Imperial Order, because who doesn't want to destroy Sky Strikers now that Engage is back? Overall, really happy with the main deck. It's a nice tight 40 cards. Now, for our extra deck, we are of course, for our Link 4s, running 2 Shuraig the Ominous Omen. This card is just bonkers. It is a non-targeting banish, so of course it gets over cards like Dragoons very easily. Also, when it's sent to the graveyard, you can search based on how many banished Tri-type monsters you have, which is also pretty sick. Alright, and then you can do some fun chain blocky things. If you're using Revolt to summon this on your opponent's turn, you can do things like chain it so that they can't negate the banish. So if they've got a big monster you need to get rid of, you can do that. You can set it up so that your search can't be negated, or your search or your send can't be negated. Overall, loving it. Like, Shuraig's just nuts. Also have an access code talker because this deck can do attributes out the behind, and an Appaloosa because again it's actually quite feasible, quite possible to set up a good amount of monster negates with this deck. Then for our Link 2s, I'm running 2 Ferrijit because it is nice to have that extra special summon at points. There are definitely times where it's come up, and there's definitely times where I've been like, I really wish I had an extra one, so I added the extra one. And it honestly works really well. It allows you to dig through your deck a little bit, but unfortunately she's not quite as good as Bearbrum, right? So Bearbrum, realistically, the only reason that I've not got it at multiples is because it should be recurable, right? You should be summoning this with its actual summoning method of 2 Tri-Brigade monsters. That way you can revolt it out, and then you can just continue to loop it forever, pretty much. Alright, so Tri-Brigade Bearbrum, we just need to run it 1. And we also have double Dragon Lords as another one of. And honestly, again, it's just like, it's almost like Dryden. You know, if you kind of squint a little bit, it kind of does something similar, except not quite. Still a good card though, it's a good board breaker. It's a wind attribute to put in your graveyard for access code talker. So I don't really see a problem, I think it's really nice. And that takes us up to all of our Link 2s. Next, for our Link 3s, we do have one Rugal the Silver Sheller, which is pretty tasty. You can end boards with this and then have like lots of setup, lots of hand traps, and you can search, like, or not search, but revive if you're playing DD Crow, or you can just revive more Tri-Brigades to allow yourself more plays next turn. Hrazelvagar, the Desperate Doom Eagle, is an absolute machine because it itself is also a DD Crow, but you can set it up super easy. You can go ahead and you can set up just any Tri-Brigade with 3 monsters in the graveyard, make this, and you've instantly got an access code talker with at least 1 attribute in graveyard, but realistically you could make like so many attributes, right? So yeah, easy enough. And we also have an Almirage, just again because there's some awkward hands where what you need to do is get like a Kit or a Nerval into the graveyard really early, and you can do that with the Almirage, and that means that you've just got more access to some play starters. It essentially turns those normal summons into searches. And then finally for our XE's monsters, we are running 1 Borbo, because who doesn't want to make a free Zeus, 1 Shakanine just as literally a Zeus material, 1 Tiger Mortar again literally as an extra Zeus material, and then the main man himself, Divine Arsehole AA Zeus, which again really, like, you normal summon a Zoo, you make Borbo, you attack, you go into these, you've immediately got a 4 material Zeus that your opponent has to deal with, unless they just want their board wiped, which is absolutely fine because it allows me to now go and do other Tri-Brigade plays because they've wasted their negates. So yeah, I'm happy enough with that deck. Let's take it to the outro. As always, if you like the video, make sure to give it a like. If you love it, give it a share and tell everyone you know about Team Tally today. And of course, if you are new here and you've made it this far, then you might as well subscribe. As always, you have been amazing. I have been Tally. I'll catch you all later. Bye.